27-year-old Felipe Zapata Velasquez gets pulled over by Gainesville police.
You go to school here?
Felipe tells him yes, and that he's an international student at the University of Florida.
What's up with your license, man?
What happened?
Your license is suspended.
Yes, because I'm doing the renew of my visa and stuff here.
Well, friends, in this video, we're going to talk about what happened with Felipe Velasquez, the 27-year-old University of Florida student who was here on his F1 student visa, who was arrested by the local police and then turned over into ICE custody. I'm also going to share with you some of the key takeaways from his arrest and his story and what you can do to avoid being in this position. I'll also talk about what rights were triggered when he was arrested. And then also we're going to talk about what's going on with international students. For those of you who are new to me, welcome to my channel. I'm Latoya McBean Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York, working with clients nationwide at McBean Law. Friends, reach out to us at McBean Law if you're in trouble with immigration. We work on complex cases. We have our success stories on our website. Visit our website at mcbeanlaw.com/success to read about what we've done for others. Now let's dive into it. What happened here with this story? Imagine this, I should say. Imagine being in Felipe's shoes. You're here on your F1 student visa. Felipe was admitted into the United States in 2023 in Orlando, Florida as an F1 student to attend Santa Fe College. He then graduated from Santa Fe College and transitioned to the University of Florida. He's here in the United States under this lawful status, and he gets pulled over by the local Gainesville Police Department in Florida. They asked him for his license and registration, and as it turns out, both his license and registration were expired. After arresting him, 3 days later, they turned him over to ICE, and ICE presented him with voluntary departure papers, and he signed those papers, and he is back in Colombia today. ICE claims that when they checked the system, he was not enrolled in the system for students, the CVIS system, but the University of Florida says he was enrolled and he was attending classes. Now let's go watch the full video to see what else happened during his arrest.
27-year-old Felipe Zapata Velasquez gets pulled over by Gainesville police.
You go to school here?
Felipe tells him yes, and that he's an international student at the University of Florida.
What's up with your license, man?
What happened?
Your license is suspended.
Yes, because I'm doing the renew of my visa and stuff here.
So right now you're being arrested for driving with a suspended license, alright? You already got a citation for this before. This is now your second citation. However, now you're going to go to the court.
Felipe is a third-year undergraduate student majoring in economics. His mother, Claudia Velasquez, says Felipe was forced to sign documents that allowed his deportation and says that he is now back in Colombia. She says Felipe was in the process of renewing his F1 student visa. Felipe, seen here in his mugshot, was reportedly transferred to Jacksonville before being taken to Chrome Detention Center.
Now, things happened really quickly with Felipe, which is not uncommon. He was arrested on March 28th, and then on April 6th, he was back in Colombia. Now, what are some of the key takeaways for you to think about? Well, first of all, guys, things in Florida has shifted significantly. As you guys know, there are harsher laws in Florida that requires a statewide cooperation by local police or law enforcement with ICE. And so, for instance, like in Felipe's case, he was arrested by the local police and they notified ICE that he's here that he's an immigrant, maybe, and they detained him right away. Now, the Florida laws, just as a side, the Florida laws are currently paused based on a litigation, but in any event, the local police are still very aggressive and cooperating with ICE. First big takeaway is if you're in the state of Florida and you do not have a valid driver's license or it's suspended, do not drive. Secondly, have key proof with you that you're here in lawful status. For instance, if you're a green card holder, carry your green card. It's required. If you're here as a TPS holder or someone, or you're seeking asylum, and carry your work permit with you. You should also carry any proof of approval by immigration that your case has been approved. So those receipt notices or proof that you're on track to get a green card somehow. Carry the proof that USCIS has provided to you. If you're a 2-year green card holder, carry your renewal, your I-751 petition form, the extension showing that you're still here lawfully in the United States during this extension period. Number 2, if your deportation feels like it's being fast-tracked by ICE, if they're really pushing and rushing things, take a minute. Certainly consult with an immigration attorney who is experienced with removal cases to take a look at whether due process is really being followed here and whether or any of your rights have been infringed on. Number 3, do not sign any paperwork if you're taken into ICE's custody, because certainly the pressure will be on you to sign voluntary departure papers so that you could be sent back home right away. Do not sign anything without first consulting an attorney. Now let's talk about what rights were triggered by this stop. First of all, he was stopped by the local police. He has his Miranda rights, guys. He has the right to remain silent, the right to speak with an attorney. He had also triggered the right to not self-incriminate. He didn't have to answer certain questions. When he was transferred now into ICE's custody, he still maintained those due process rights in addition to Fifth Amendment right as an immigrant who would potentially be going through a removal process. If he had stayed in the United States, he had a right to go before an immigration judge and seek relief before the court. Lastly, friends, there is a crackdown going on among the international student community. Secretary Rubio has already said that they've revoked 300 visas. These are foreign student visas that have been revoked. Why? Because they've expressed pro-Palestinian viewpoints publicly, or perhaps they've participated in various protests. But then we're also hearing about other students who had nothing to do with political speech or expressing their views. Folks who had citations, traffic violations, speeding tickets, they are also facing visa revocations as well. Know your rights, friends. If you're going through an immigration process that as intense as what Felipe went through, of course, you have the right to self-deport, right, to voluntarily leave the country, but speak with an immigration lawyer before you do that so that you'll understand what steps you can take to return to the United States. Guys, there's so much going on. Continue to follow for more. Read our success stories. Comment below. Let me hear your thoughts. Don't forget also to subscribe to this channel so that you won't miss my updates each week. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.